That would be awesome if this podcast could eventually pay for itself. I'm imagining that the people who are going to buy our t-shirts and mugs are going to be us. And then maybe my mom.
I'm just saying, I really want a Stroke Joke shirt. Possibly mug. Why does your mug say Stroke Joke? I'm like, why does it say Stroke Joke? Yeah.
I think with certain things, that's what I actually
Stroke Joke.
Okay. Obviously we need a Tally Ho mug.
Yay.
Yep.
Happy days.
We can't put a picture of Paul Giamatti on a mug that says Tally Ho. But we can put a loaded baked potato on anything.
Yeah. You can do whatever you want as long as I get the Stroke Joke.
I can actually... Do you want it on the front or the back, Chris?
Just on the right side.
Oh my God.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I'm your number one fan.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
They're coming to get you, Barbara. They all flow down here.
What's blood for, if not for shedding?
Look at me, Damien. It's all for you.
Here's Johnny!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Spooktober episode of John Hates Movies, the podcast where my friends interrupt me from grooming my odd-looking Mexican dog and force me to watch movies. This week we have...
I don't get it. Was that a Dead Alive?
That if it's a reference, but
it is completely a reference.
It's an urban legend
I'll
reference.
explain it a little later.
Urban legend reference. Yep. This week we have with us Eric Jason Voorhees Largent,
Tally Ho,
Chris Mike Myers Arsenault.
No, that was a good Mike Myers, though.
Yeah.
James Freddy Krueger Bearup.
Welcome to prime time, bitch.
And Colin Leatherface McMillan.
Chainsaw noise.
Head cheese. Yeah, head cheese. They take the head and they boil it down and all the bones. They don't throw nothing away. You like it?
That was awesome. That was really good, James.
Thanks. Your line is, sure I like it. It's good.
Wow.
Okay.
This is from the
Texas
original.
Chainsaw Massacre.
I've never actually seen the original.
Oh, yes.
So I cannot participate in this lark.
Well, here's the thing, though. The original was complete crap.
Oh, no!
Complete crap.
It's also not the movie we're talking about this week.
That was our brief review of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. For more information on John Hates Movies, consult our Facebook.
The movie in question for this week is The Awakening.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Scary ghost.
Now, this movie was actually very highly rated by Netflix. We have about 4 1/3 stars on this guy. The premise is a haunted boarding school calls on Florence Cathcart, who disproves hoaxes for a living. But the strange place leads Cathcart to question reality. Rationality? Reality? She questioned something. That starts with an R.
Your pick.
It stars Rebecca Hall, Dominic West, and Imelda Staunton, and it was directed by Nick Murphy. So, The Awakening, guys.
Yes. I for one, greatly enjoyed The Awakening. And I had some things that I thought... I don't know, I kind of have some talking points to riff on. The first thing I noticed about The Awakening from the start is the production and the quality of the music particularly was excellent. The music was tasteful and was utilized to set the mood really, really, really well. And it succeeded at keeping things pretty spooky. I thought the actors did a fantastic job. All of them. So early on,
Even Dolores
I was
Umbridge.
just getting there. I was just getting there. Like, literally, my next thing is, so they're rolling up to the house, which is the primary setting of the movie, and the house comes into view, and it's this giant foreboding mansion, and the kind of place that you'd look at and be like, well, that's haunted. And as soon as it came on screen, I said to myself, oh, look, it's evil Hogwarts. And then there was Dolores Umbridge. So I definitely noticed that, and I thought she did a fine job. The talking point, the note for that is evil Hogwarts and oh shit, Dolores Umbridge.
Yep.
There's just something about like really austere British people in movies, like it reminded me of the old Eddie Izzard routine where he talks about the difference between American and UK movies and how like you can't eat popcorn during a British movie. I was reminded of that with the interactions between the lead fellow and the lead lady. I wish I knew any of these actors other than Dolores Umbridge.
Oh, you don't know?
Oh no, Dominic West was McNulty in
best cop series
Nutty.
of all time. Period.
Of all
Dominic
time.
Nutty.
Unbelievably good.
Yeah, it is.
I have
it is the
never
best
seen a single episode of The
time.
Wire.
Well, you need to watch it.
You need to. It's a necessary.
I've
watch.
been told
It really
no
is.
one will watch it with me. I have no friends.
I have no friends. High five
What
myself.
up? Go self. It's you, me, buddy.
Maybe you have a ghost friend like the kid has in the movie.
Yes.
That was totally your not so much brother, but half brother, but he's dead and he's a ghost, and your father. Oh,
Yeah,
What
I don't know where I don't know where spoilers where the spoiler line is in this movie, because it certainly has a twist.
Yeah,
Uh,
but
Yeah.
it's not
I
very
gotta
strong.
admit, though,
I'm gonna spoil one thing for you folks
Yes,
at home.
exactly.
The twist is not that she is a ghost.
Okay.
Good, yeah.
She is not a ghost.
Unlike
That's
the
the
Sixth
ghost.
Sense.
It is not. They're all dead. They're all ghosts in this house. It's like that Nicole Kidman movie, blah. Or the Sixth,
Sixth
or
Sense.
whatever. It's like, okay, just so you all know, and I'm not using reverse psychology on you. The protagonist of this movie is a living human being.
Yeah.
She is neither ghostly nor imaginary. So,
well, she kind of is.
in that it is a fictional character. But
And that it's an educated
Oh.
wow,
Wow.
woman. Well, look, they make that joke a bunch
you're
of
going to
times.
alienate
Yeah.
our key
Yeah.
demographic.
No, I want them to watch the movie because it's like everybody is so aghast that there's an
This is
educated
true.
woman in
That's
it.
true. That's definitely an issue they seem to be pushing.
Actually, I think that's one of the things about the film that I like the most, that it did have a very strong female role. I mean, it was centrally around her,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
quite obviously, but I mean, yeah, I thought she was a very
Yeah.
I thought so too.
Yes.
I
And the
thought,
women drive the action in this movie.
yeah, Cathcart
yeah.
is well. Cathcart and Maud are both. They're strongly written and strongly acted roles, and distinctly different. And I like that they don't. This is a movie that doesn't suffer from any tropes where like the strong female character is just a bitch.
Yeah.
They're
right.
fully
Oh
fleshed
my
out
God,
characters with motivations. All the characters, and this is a small cast, by the way. This is the primary characters. There's like 4,
Yeah, very small.
but pretty much all of them were pretty strong.
So for maybe the gardener.
yeah. The gardener, he's his motive.
Yeah, he was kind of like
ambiguous.
just a dick.
Yeah. He was just
I
a
think
dick.
he wanted to get his dick wet.
Yeah, no, his motivations were much more complex than that. What he wanted was to have sex.
Sex.
Has anybody?
Not even that.
Has anybody?
What he
No.
really wanted was the comfort his mother never gave him, and he
There's
was
a difference
taking it
between
back.
having
Yeah.
sex and
Oh
what
yeah.
you want.
That's not sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And scenes like that always bother me a lot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, okay. Here's part of it, though. I think, just getting into that for half a second, I think you have that dynamic of here's a very well-educated, very self-imposing, very strong female, individual. I was going to say female person.
Not just a
Sounds super
person,
weird.
not just a female.
Well, you have a very
Female person.
a very strong individual, and it's quite obvious that character that
Yeah,
he couldn't
yeah.
deal with that, because from the get go,
Yeah,
he
what
was
he's trying to
bothered by
do
her.
in almost every scene where they interact is he's trying to reduce her.
Yes. So in the end, all that came down to was he couldn't deal with that on some level, and he was forcing his hand, as it were, and showing dominance, which is what it's all about.
I think we should probably get in front of
It's
this. I think
about
we should probably
power.
get in front of this right now. If you're listening at home and you're thinking about watching The Awakening, and if you are uncomfortable with rape scenes or implied rape scenes, this movie contains one.
Yeah,
And-
trigger warning.
Yeah. And quite honestly, I'm of the opinion that I've never found those necessary.
I agree with that.
And
Yeah.
I think they can imply a lot better without. I'm a little bothered when they show as much as they tend to, and I gotta say, in this film, I don't think they showed. I think they did it fairly well. I don't think they went overboard with
Of
it.
all of the scenes like this that I've seen in a movie, this was probably the
one of the tanks.
best, because I mean, I hate to say it like that, but it's like because she actually managed to break free
and fight him
and
off.
beat
And
the shit out of the
shit
guy.
of him.
If-
Yeah, you felt
yeah.
good
If
at that.
such a scene can be done tastefully, this is closer to that mark than usual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am actually of the mindset that sexual assault scenes should not be in movies because on some level it glorifies it. Whether it's just glorifying it by being an exciting action scene, that I think it's destructive. So that they almost lost me at that
Yeah.
point. And sorry,
Yeah,
folks,
sure.
this is late into the movie. So we're kind of you're gonna get some spoilers today.
We're
but
jumping
like,
around. Yeah.
but it is, to be fair, this is something that you should know if you are the kind of person that does not under any circumstances want to see that. The Awakening is not for you.
Yeah, I just didn't think it was necessary.
Correct.
No, it wasn't.
Like they could have had the gardener be a bad guy in some.
Well, he
other
Or
way.
already-
he could have just attacked her.
Right.
or just
Yeah.
have like a
Right, yeah.
physical attack instead of a
Right,
sexual.
right,
Yeah, he
yeah.
already had a
And
gun.
that's honestly what I thought it was
Right.
going to be.
Yeah.
Because he did. He what punched her or something,
Yeah,
was
he
it?
punched
And
her.
then drags her into the woods. And
Yeah.
I thought he was just going to hide the body, but no, that's
Yeah.
not where it went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
And on that level, I was kind of disappointed. But
Yeah.
and what they accomplished through that scene in the movie could still have been accomplished with a scene that was just about violence. If he was just trying to hunt her down with the gun, if he's just chasing her through the
Yeah.
woods and he clearly wants to kill
Though-
her,
And actually, I think it adds more suspense.
I think it would have been a
Right.
stronger
That way.
choice.
It would have been a much stronger choice had he been hunting her like James suggested, because it would have drawn great parallels with her father.
This is true. Like, there's a device existing in the movie that
Yeah.
would have been a much cleaner, more consistent, and almost obvious choice. You have this imagery
because
set
she
up
had
of
felt
somebody.
like she got shot at
Right.
with a shotgun already.
Spoilers. But anyway, but you have this imagery set up like 2 or 3 times already of this nightmarish vision of somebody pointing a gun at her. This
Right.
this dude totes a gun around all the time. Like, why didn't they just do that?
But- every time they showed that guy, did anyone else have flashbacks to the hunter from Jumanji?
Oh, I know what you're
No,
talking
the
about.
It's been a long time since I've seen Jumanji.
Yeah, same here.
We should do that one. So,
It is on Netflix. Yeah.
has anybody ever been on a ghost hunt? Like to bring it back? You have?
Yes.
Yeah, I have.
I haven't been to like the official like Taps thing, but me and my friends have gone to haunted places.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean.
Oh,
too.
I've actually
I think
been
me
on
and
an
you did that.
official.
Yeah.
I've actually been.
Me and James.
Oh, sorry.
Me and James went out to a haunted place.
Yeah.
in mid Michigan.
Yeah, I did that too.
Yeah.
I've actually been on a ghost hunt. With the
Right.
with as much as as you can call these people official.
Legitimate,
Right, well, I was gonna say, at
legitimate
what point is it
organization.
official?
It's
Yeah.
but it was the southeastern for a class that I did, I was writing a paper on Michigan urban legends, and I just on a whim I contacted the Southeastern Michigan Ghost Hunter Society, which, by the way, super nice and super awesome people, and they're more than happy to have anybody come along and see what they do.
Sweet.
So they're really cool people. But this was years ago. Their roster might have changed since then. But anyway,
we should have them
waiting,
on
I'm
next
waiting
October.
for the butt, John.
You're waiting for the butt?
Yeah, because obviously ghosts are bullshit.
Okay, here's the butt. Here's the butt. We went to a very haunted place in Michigan, and I can't remember the name of it, and I'm sorry about this, but it was basically a haunted hotel. But because these guys were a
Was it the Michigan Motel?
I don't remember.
Because I've heard stories about that place.
Anyway.
I'm sorry, go on.
But because these people were like people and not like, one of those famous things on TV, they were only allowed to come in during the day. Or not during the day, but during the night. But not like, but there's a bar and they were doing karaoke. And so it was a little like, okay, I'm not really feeling it.
Party time with friends, a little less ghost hunting.
Well, they weren't doing karaoke. They were very dedicated in their craft, but it was kind of hard to ignore the fact that literally two where they were setting up the cameras and they had the EMF projectors, two rooms.
Guys, I got a DVD.
Exactly.
What's it say? Earth below us.
Anybody hear that? What was that? Oh my God, what was that?
Yeah, there was none
Neil
of that.
Diamond.
It's saying that it's floating.
So it was pretty bad.
Well, because they didn't join the karaoke, they didn't even realize that the bartender was.
Wait,
a ghost.
guys, I think I'm getting a
buzz on.
I think I'm getting a transmission from an old naval sea captain.
Takes me away to where I'm going.
Yeah. So yep.
Okay. Okay, that was obviously worthwhile.
That's some smooth.
So
shit
yeah,
right there.
I'm sorry.
Never lose the smooth, James.
No,
never
never
lose the smooth.
Never.
Oh. All right. One of the things they did.
So
right
glad
in
you
this
chose
movie,
Christopher Cross instead of Styx.
Fucking right.
Aren't we all? One of the things I thought they really did right in The Awakening is all of the ghost effects. You see what the character sees, nothing more.
Yep.
You
That's
never
true.
perceive anything supernatural that a character that is in that scene wouldn't have perceived.
Right.
And I thought that was awesome.
Yep.
It made the emotional reactions of the characters very real, and it kept you very attached to and in the scene. You don't have any cut to ghost in another hallway or something. There was never any scene of just ghosts around which made you really unsure about what was happening.
Yeah.
And it kept the mystery alive very successfully. I thought that was a major plus. I also thought all the parts of the dollhouse were pretty creepy.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic mechanism. Just really, it was, and it wasn't even an effect. It was just a prop.
Yep.
And it was just a really well executed prop.
So good.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, on that part, when she I think it's after the shower, and she's looking into the dollhouse.
Yeah.
And she sees herself looking into the
Yeah.
dollhouse.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
I
super
just got
creepy,
chills right now.
but when that weirded me out. But the scary part for me, honestly, is when the door is closing. I don't know what it is, but when doors close on their own, and when it didn't fully close, for myself, I had a sense of relief.
Yeah.
Because it always seems like when a door closes on its own and closes all the way on its own, that's not an opening up.
You're dead. Cut to pounding on the door, screaming, and the other character trying to get in and you can't, and then you're dead. And then you have a twisted up face like in The Ring.
Yep.
Yeah, man, they did such a great job with those effects. They kept them the door and they kept the effects subtle enough.
Yep.
That they really spooked you out, and they only went big on effects when it was absolutely appropriate. The looking through the peephole, there's an effect they used there that made me jump and be like, oh my god, you know. And wow, one of the great things about this for me was like the ghost, the way that they show the ghost, and you don't really see it, but they mention it. I mean, they tell you in the dialogue, like, yeah, he's got a real messed up face.
Yep.
I didn't want to see him.
Yeah.
I was like, do not show this thing.
You're going to kill him, right?
Oh yeah! Oh my god, that part was so awesome. I don't know. I thought this movie was really great, although the way they went with it in the ending was a little weak.
Yeah.
But then they almost tanked the whole thing.
Yes. I think you're talking about the same point, but there was a point where I was like, oh no, don't do it, don't do it. They got to the tipping point where like they were about to be like, no, ghosts are real. And if they would have done that, I would have been like, fuck this, I'm done with the movie right now. I don't know if that's what you thought. If that's where you were
what I thought, where I thought they were really going to tank it is when it was going to become like, let's just all be ghosts. And then, and I was like, oh no. And I'm so, again, sorry, spoilers, but like, I'm so glad that they pulled the plug on that when they did. That it did leave the tail ending being just a little bit cheesy.
Yes, I wanted to bring that up, that whole happy ending. Well, first off, she walks through the house and is ignored by everything, so you're like...
Is she?
She walks really close to chairs, so it looks like she's walking through them, but not quite.
You know?
Yeah, it was,
right,
it was
and
very...
then
it
he
was
meets up with
obviously
her,
meant
and
to
for
psych
like
you
half
out.
a second, it's like...
And
maybe she's not a ghost, or maybe they're
I thought
both
that
ghosts.
they brought it back a little bit with the dialogue because they kind of make a joke out of it.
Yeah.
But even still, it was a little too sappy of an epilogue, you know?
Yes. I didn't like that the very, very end of it.
But
Like, if they had ended it and she had spoken to nobody, so you were in that constant, wait, is she?
I wouldn't have liked that either.
I would have been better.
I think they could have done the
better off
happy
with
ending
that.
a little.
Me too.
lighter.
And part of it for me was the dress. Like, was what she was wearing. It's like this shimmery white thing, so she sort of looks like a ghost. And
she's looking
and
ethereal.
I just thought that in contrast to the rest of the movie, and I understand the character's gone through a change at this point, but
they even changed the filters on the camera for that epilogue too. Which, considering the whole movie is like blue tone, then they just like brighten it up at the end there. That was almost too much for me.
And the blue tone, I thought, suited the post World War I setting enormously well.
Yeah,
because that was a really fucking sad time. And then the end, it was such a jarring shift into this, like, it's happy. Like, that might have been, you know, the end scene might have taken place yesterday. It didn't look like 1921 anymore. It was suddenly happy time, and it was too much. And for a movie that otherwise is so legitimate from start to finish in every detail, as far as I was concerned, I was very disappointed with not even so much what happened in the end, but the way it was presented, I felt was a major fail in an otherwise very successful project. This movie's scary. It's scary in the best way because it's all teasing your imagination. I thought that you don't get a lot of jump scares. I think there's two. Jump scares piss me off. I hate jump scares. Jump scares piss me off because they work on me, and I feel like a fucking fool.
I hate them. Like, and like any time where the music is like teasing, like, bam, like anytime a movie does that, it takes me out of it. I just like think,
the entire soundtrack of Jurassic Park.
This is stupid. You know, like
right, because they're going for the cheap effect rather than actually building.
Mm-hmm. Right. And it makes me mad because I know it's cheap, but it still works.
But the real good stuff gives you those deep shivers, and that's why I'm in it. You know, like that's what I want out of a horror movie.
And that's why I consider The Awakening such a success, because when Chris is retelling the dollhouse part with the door closing, I got shivers 100 miles away.
Well, I checked over my shoulder.
Right. Yeah, and
Okay, I wanted to because James kept on looking to my left, and I thought he was fucking with, like, seriously.
and that's how you know
Stop
you just
it,
watched
James. Stop
a
it.
good
Freaking
scary
me out.
movie. Because as a grown-ass man, you go, "Whoa, that was pretty good," and then you go to bed, and you're laying there in your bed, and you just hear, like, "Ee." And you go, "Oh, shit." That's what horror is all about. And if you don't have that, then it's not really a scary movie.
Yeah, I just wish it wasn't so front-loaded. You know?
Yeah.
Like-
do you want to take it from here? Because that's about my cap. That's about where I'm done.
You know, actually, you want to go ahead, Eric?
Yeah, I can go.
Okay.
So I don't watch scary movies. Like, I just don't. Like, I don't like it. I live alone. I'm very comfortable. Like, I'm very comfortable at night. I'm very comfortable being alone. I'm very comfortable being outside at night. Like, I don't get scared in real life.
Because you haven't filled your imagination with such horrors.
Right, because I know ghosts are fucking imaginary. Like, it doesn't exist. So, like, I don't like hyping myself up over, like, fake scary things.
Right.
So, and I actually like it better that way. Like, I like being able to live without worrying if that creek is a ghost, because I know it's not.
Right.
So
It's not a ghost, it's a crackhead.
It's something that can actually kill you.
I do live in North Lansing, so. But so this isn't a movie I would ever watch on my own.
Right.
Ever. And really, neither is any kind of horror movie.
Are you saying that it's not a movie you would watch by your own accord or literally alone?
By my own accord.
Okay.
Like, I would never choose to watch a scary movie.
Okay.
And this was a scary movie. So since I don't watch scary movies, I'm not good at watching them.
Oh.
And I seriously, like, a lot of times, like, the dollhouse scenes, those are fucking scary. Or like when she's looking through the peephole, that's scary. Or when
which part of the people? Which
when she's
both
back
were kind of scary.
when she's looking out of the bathhouse into the bedroom.
Ugh.
Okay, yeah.
I hated that
totally
part so
forgot about
much.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all those parts I watched with my fingers, like, in a lattice shape in front of the screen, like only watching part of the screen. I'm serious. Like, I'm not good at scary movies. I watched like bits and pieces of the movie while that was happening.
Right.
So I mean, if you want to be scared, I guess I'm not the best example for this, but I think this was a scary movie. There were a couple of little things that I don't. Are we going to give away the twist?
Oh, we've already have it.
Yeah, I mean, we pretty much already have, so...
Okay. So there were a couple of things that kind of foreshadowed the twist. One of them was Dolores Umbridge, Maud, when what's the main character?
Cathcart. Cathcart.
Yeah. When Cathcart is she's like going crazy, kind of, and yelling at something, or maybe yelling at the boy. And Dolores tells the boy to go away, and she goes, "You used to be such a nice girl. I don't know what happened to you." You're like, "Oh, that's awfully familiar."
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah,
so,
I didn't clue
I was
into
like,
that. At
okay,
that
crazy
point.
lady.
Yeah, I thought that was a really bold thing to say. It made no sense to me at the time.
it made me go, "Whoa!" Maybe she does know her from somewhere.
Right.
Maybe that's what's going on here. One thing that I would have loved. Okay, so I really didn't like Shutter Island. I watched that with other people.
Don't spoil that. I have yet to watch that.
I recall loving it, but I can't remember what happened.
Then you're gonna have to go, because the reason I didn't like this movie is because of the same thing that happened in Shutter Island.
I don't recall.
Aliens.
Can I say it?
Oh,
Ask
that
Chris.
it's all imaginary.
I don't know that this movie all said that, or technically said that it was imaginary.
Well,
yes, all these ghosts are imaginary.
That's not what it said.
No, I didn't think so. I thought I didn't think the
not
ghosts.
at all.
The ghosts weren't imaginary.
Yeah, they were.
No,
Absolutely were.
no.
Yes, these were imaginary ghosts. They really were. The boy was imaginary the whole time.
No, because
then
the
it would
boy
have been
was
a
seen
shared
by
delusion.
the boy was seen by like 30 kids at the school.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
think
Maud,
so.
Maud
No,
could
I don't-
see him
Yep.
like Cathcart could.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maud
was-
could
they
see
would often
her
talk.
constantly. Cathart could see her or him constantly from the moment she got there.
Because they have a connection.
Right. The male teacher
Wait.
couldn't.
So this movie really was saying that ghosts are real, and
Yes.
that was a real ghost.
As a matter of fact,
Yes.
she,
All right.
didn't- she only
I
survived
fucking
at the.
hate this movie. I fucking hated this movie. Ghosts are not real, and this girl is so smart. She's got everything figured out. And then see, like the way that I thought the ending was going to be, like everything was okay. Is like they go, no, it's not imaginary, or no,
it's
it's
not
not real ghosts. These are all in your head. Because I thought the guy and Maud were like in like a pact to both act like the kid was an actual ghost, and that she was just putting the ghost there with her imagination.
No,
in
fact, Roberts, the guy, he never interacts with Tom.
Yeah, I know.
He never addressed
Which is
Tom
funny because
existing.
they screw with you by putting the
Tom,
kid
like,
right next to him when they're sitting down and eating dinner or whatever.
Mhm.
But yeah, he never actually acknowledges the boy.
As a matter of fact, when she's poisoned at the end,
Mm-hmm.
and she
She
tells Tom to go get like Ipecac,
Right.
Yep.
and he can't get it fast enough. But the boy, who's a ghost, can travel through walls and ceilings,
And
Yeah.
he actually
No.
brings
and
it to her.
he goes and gets the poison
See, the
by
way-
the crow flies.
No, the way I saw
I mean,
that
the
is
Ipecac.
is she's creating all this stuff with her imagination. To me, she was the one setting up the dollhouse.
Hmm.
To me, she knew that poison was going to happen, and she got the Ipecac.
I
herself.
think the thing that happened to you is the same thing that happened to me. This movie is littered with tiny little red herrings that if you grab onto them, they will take you down roads that turn out not to be true. And I think you caught on to all that talk about imaginary friends, and that set your tone. That set the tone for what you thought was happening in this movie.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
But yeah, it's actually pretty clear that the movie's intent was ghosts are real, and that kid was a real kid. That kid was her illegitimate half brother.
Yeah, I know that he was a real kid, but I thought when she showed up at the mansion that she just started like creating this imagination boy out of her subconscious.
Well,
Weird.
you might be able to interpret it that way.
See, the only thing that doesn't make sense in that aspect
Is the Maud's behavior and the fact that
there's Maud.
lonely redhead, the ginger that nobody likes, could also see the dead boy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Could he?
good.
And
I
then
didn't-
they talk
Could he
about
really?
I didn't realize that.
They've
Yes,
got
yeah,
these-
I didn't catch that either.
they got these photographs of the kid over the years and
Yeah, see-
reported
see,
sightings
that's
from
the
like
thing,
30
that's-
kids.
Okay, well, so I thought the reported sightings from all the kids were them seeing the little red hair boy be like a creeper at night, and then I thought the photographs were part of the shared illusion that Maud and the guy were pulling on Dolores. Or on,
Oh, you thought she was being gaslit?
yes, yes.
Interesting.
I don't
then
know.
why would, because at the very end when they're doing the fake out and you're like, is she a ghost, is she not,
Yeah,
the whatever, the dean or whatever the hell of the school,
he's
whatever
talking about. Yeah, she can't handle
Yeah,
the
like
stress and stuff like
he's
that.
talking in vague terms, so you're thinking, oh, are they talking about Cathcart,
Right.
or are they talking about Maud?
Right.
But Maud obviously killed herself
Right.
Yeah.
to be with the boy and Cathcart.
Right.
That's true.
So that's the only reason that
Fail.
your thing doesn't make sense. Otherwise, it could be a very legitimate interpretation of the movie. Unless you can think of another reason why she would want to poison both of them, or poison herself because she legitimately died.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Bad
That's
news,
okay.
I
Eric.
saw this movie completely wrong.
Ghosts.
Hey,
Ghosts are
it
real.
happens.
All
Bad
right, so
news.
but the moral of this story was ghosts are real.
I
Yeah.
don't think that was the moral of the story. I think
I don't
Okay,
know if
well,
it had
here-
one.
But the movie came to the conclusion this girl's out solving the hoax ghosts,
Yeah.
like all these bullshit
Yeah.
like people like putting
Beautiful,
crows on
beautiful
plates and shit
setup,
like that.
by the way,
Yeah.
on that.
Oh,
with
that
the
was awesome.
with the beginning.
Oh,
I was
that's
like,
such a good
oh
beginning.
my god, that was brilliant.
Yeah, it was
So
really good.
cool.
And I guess maybe I brought my own thing to it where I was like, yeah, great, good for her. She's out proving that all this hocus pocus is bullshit, and that's where I wanted it to go for the rest of the movie.
Right.
I'm with you on that.
Maybe my mind just couldn't accept this movie saying that ghosts are real because they ain't.
Because yeah, I think that's what happened because you're certainly not of that opinion. Like, I'm not saying ghosts are real. I'm not saying they're not. But what I was going to say,
totally real.
Just I
don't think the movie was necessarily like. I don't think that was like the
moral.
The moral. Hinging, I don't think that was the end point of what they were trying to say.
No, I know,
think
but like they did say it.
Yeah.
Just
that's like our
they're saying ghosts are real in that universe.
Well, but they took a girl who does not believe in ghosts and is making a living disproving ghosts.
Yeah, to coach
and
you,
at
though,
the end she believes in ghosts.
Yeah,
I fucking hate that.
To coach you in the world of horror movies. In the world of horror movies, if there is something supernatural and it's a scary movie, and somebody in the beginning of the movie says they don't believe in it, it's real.
Right.
It's usually that case, yeah.
Usually.
Although I'm with you. I do kind of hate it when they take a really strong skeptical character and then make everything that they believe be bullshit. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she made a whole career off
of this.
Annoying.
I mean, you see that in movies. I mean, even non-horror movies, just movies in general. You see that more often than not.
First off, I think you guys have all missed a point here. She was continually doing the ghost hoax thing so she could be proved wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. So her being proved wrong is actually what she had been searching for this entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's happy.
She is.
Yeah.
Because she knows there's an afterlife, and she knows that
good,
her dead soldier has gone to heaven.
I just don't like it.
No, that's
it's a good
okay.
take. That's a great interpretation. I just don't like it.
That's all right.
So that's how I feel about the movie. So now that it turns out that in this movie,
now that it's talking about ghosts, flip the table.
Yeah.
I'm ready to flip the table. I don't like it.
Yeah, I'll say this. At least in this movie where they've got a skeptic, at least she was allowed to be smart and cool, and not just a conceited asshole.
Right, she wasn't portrayed as just being obstinate,
or a conspiracy nut.
Yeah.
Right.
Obviously she'd be on the wrong side of that, but I hate it when they
skipping to their skepticism in the face of evidence.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I actually would have been satisfied with the movie where, it starts out as strong as it did with her, like, just busting up that medium circle.
Yep. That was so awesome.
Then her going to somewhere that was, like, totally, like, haunted, and then her, like, pulling it apart. Like, I actually would be satisfied with
Me
that
too.
movie,
That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted.
I would have, too, if, like, instead of there being a ghost, she uncovers a conspiracy to cover up murder or whatever.
I wanted her to pull the mask off of the gardener at the end and him go, if it wasn't for you meddling kids.
Yep.
I think I
want some Scooby-Doo.
The complete opposite of most of you guys.
All right, so let's hear it.
Here's the thing. Like, I thought it was an okay movie. I thought there were some really good parts. I thought they played well with a lot of the scenes, music. I thought the acting was pretty decent. I wouldn't say I would even bother recommending this film to people.
Oh,
like I didn't like it that much. I honestly thought when you said it was like 4 something stars, I'm like, that seems kind of high. That seems really high. In fact, I remember seeing that. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a really good film.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. I would actually recommend this over Grabbers.
I would recommend Grabbers over this.
Okay.
I think
it's
people would have a better. Yeah, that too.
But what about the leprechaun?
It's
no
nice
one.
to not recommend the leprechaun.
Sorry, Leprechaun.
Yeah, Leprechaun gets no love.
No, it shouldn't.
Well, okay, so I guess my point is, like, they did. I felt that I agree with you guys, especially after some of the discussion. They did a lot of things pretty decently. I didn't think this was. I mean, I admit that there were a couple points in the movie that were kind of jarring, a little bit scary. I didn't think this is a very scary movie. Like, because
really?
I guess in my head I kept on, because quite honestly, one of the more Mentally accosting films that I've seen in the past 5-6 years, The Orphanage.
Right.
Yeah.
To this day, that movie freaks me out.
Well, yeah,
And I know that movie is not technically legitimately a horror film.
Yeah, red light, green light.
Right.
Yeah, it gets me every time.
Right? It's a freaky fucking film.
I need to watch that again.
I ain't seen that.
It's a freaky film on a psychological level.
It's going to scare the shit out of you,
And
because it's
and it has its own little twist too. But I feel like it did it a lot better. Even Pan's Labyrinth, I felt, was more scary than this.
Oh, Pan's Labyrinth was awesome.
See, I don't know. I mean, I got to disagree with you.
Than Pan's
and both those movies, like I said, were intense, but not really intended to be horror necessarily. So
yeah,
okay.
I don't. Yeah. Well, why don't you launch into your review here, Chris?
Well, that's what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
But someone keeps interrupting.
I'm gonna let you finish, Chris.
What you saying, John?
I guess I don't know. I've seen The Orphanage, and maybe it's been too long. But I think on setting when it comes to setting the tone, I think these two are probably equally scary.
They're very similar in tone.
Well, okay, let me put it this way.
The Orphanage is super sad.
Yes. Let me put it this way. I sat and watched this movie through, like I said, there were the dollhouse scene.
Yeah.
And maybe one other scene actually kind of got me riled up. Maybe two scenes in the entire film.
Didn't you say your trigger is closed doors?
Yes.
Well, of course the Orphanage is going to scare you the most.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. Well, but that's my point. That's my point. This film, I feel like there are only 2 points that even really in the film that got me riled up. Whereas, I remember watching The Orphanage and through the last probably 2/3 of that film, continually checking behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That film kind of... I'm just saying, I didn't feel the intensity with this film. I think they did a really decent job overall. I just don't feel... I think they could have stepped it up and gotten more out of it. And yeah, avoiding some of the sharp, jolty kind of scare, that's not really cool. And I didn't like the ending. And here's the thing, I didn't like the ending because it was too happy. From the beginning, she was trying to prove herself wrong, which is why she kept on doing the work. She wanted to believe in her own convictions that she was right, that ghosts aren't real. But doing that continually let her live in pain, thinking that she left him to nothing for the end of his life, and there's nothing after this. Her finally being able to, or her having been proven wrong, is actually a godsend and almost a sense of self-righteous for her, because she feels less less of a tyrant for what she did, right?
Yeah.
Here's
kind of like retro forgiveness.
Right. Or what is what is that fucking film?
Survivor's Guilt?
She was, quote, proven wrong against her better judgment as a thinking person's thinker.
She's one of them brain thinkers at the science.
I know. I really loved her character. I loved her character. Yeah. But here's the thing. Yes, at the end, it's the ghost child that saved her, technically. But after that fact, you have no idea whether she's alive or dead. That bothered me up until the very end. And then the very end, I'm like, okay, they're both not dead. Sappy ending. This is stupid. But I do, even though it seems to be much of the contention, not necessarily whether ghosts are real or not, I don't really give a fuck about that. I do like the idea that someone that is so diligent in their beliefs was willing to accept what was in front of them.
Yeah.
And not, once again, disavow it simply because that can't be real.
Yeah.
Right.
I do like the growth of the character that does that. I also really, like I said, I loved her character. I loved her character throughout the entire movie. I think that's really the only reason I got through the movie as well as I did, because she is a really, really good character. And I think one of the best parts is when she's going right before Maud's like, you were such a nicer person. Like I said, up until you guys talked about it earlier, I didn't quite get that referring back to it. Yeah. But when she's like just screaming at Tom, it was Thomas, right? The kid, Tom, right? Just screaming at him. I'm like, no, he did this. Like, and he's been here the whole time thing. And like, you're like, okay, either she's psycho nuts or this motherfucker's haunted. Like I said, for it to actually turn out that the kid was the ghost, I'm like, I'll admit, I didn't see quite that coming. Yeah. But when they did the whole reveal on the history between the two of them and everything, and her family and whatnot, I thought that was really cool.
Come here, Mousy.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was really neat. That said, I still think like it was a huge reveal, and normally for someone who has blocked out that much, for them to otherwise be so functioning, that's rare.
Yeah, I feel like she needs some
where
therapy.
It broke for me. That was really odd. Like I said,
and it also only works in England because in America, somebody would have been like, "Hey, about your parents that got like murder-suicide. Whoa, that's fucked up, dude." Like, what do you mean?
Tell me about that. Let's talk about
it. Yeah. So, Chris, are you good now? Have you gotten that off your chest? Cause
you okay, buddy?
Yeah. Oh, right. That's the other point the movie seems to make. Everyone has problems.
Yes,
because she seems to see her ghosts. He's followed by, quote, the ghosts of his past. Yeah. He never, he says he sees them kind of thing, but for him, it's quite obviously a mental, reminders kind of thing.
Yeah, he's got survivor skill.
Yeah, he has survivor skill. You never get the impression that he's actually seeing ghosts. Whereas when she talks about it, she's actually seeing ghosts. Or at least you're led to believe that. So, I'm good now. We're good. We're all good.
James, what about you, buddy?
Follow that up.
What say you?
So say we all.
Say you.
Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck you. Hashtag GFY. I just want to start out by saying I have no idea what anybody's talking about.
Shut up.
I watched this movie, and everybody loves Dustin Hoffman, but I just found Robin Williams' character completely unbelievable.
Man.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. Doing it again.
Do you mean Dustin Hoffman? Do you mean Robert De Niro?
Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Not Robin Williams.
I'm actually... Was there...
No, that was
film
called
Awakening.
Okay.
Robert De Niro and Robin Williams. It's based on a true story, actually.
It was a good movie.
It's a good movie. It's actually...
It was a good movie.
So what you're saying is we should have watched Awakenings.
There was that...
Wasn't scary at all.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. For a second, I thought Flatliners was called The Awakeners.
Oh, no. I watched that recently.
I used to love the Flatliners.
Hui.
Anyway.
Hui.
Yeah.
If you like made-for-TV horror, watch Flatliners.
Oh my God!
There we go. We got another review under our belt.
Another review.
The one's about
that's the one about the young medical professionals killing
themselves. Keep on,
Oliver Platt, baby,
bring themselves back.
There's a lot of strong talent in that movie. That
he makes me happy every time I see him.
I love him.
What was the one about the things that are eating time?
Langoliers.
Langoliers.
Yeah.
Decent story, terrible movie.
Yeah, Flatliners was actually a major Hollywood production. Yeah, it just.
I thought Langoliers was too.
No, it was like a
Langoliers was made for TV.
Well, it was awful.
With Balky.
Yep.
That's funny.
Okay, James, what did you really think of this movie?
So yeah, the probably one of the first things that I was thinking after I watched it was that this movie had boobs in it.
Yeah.
It did have boobs.
And it's so weird. I was just thinking about that, how in modern day, like in the 80s when they had a horror movie, like if it was rated R just because of violence or swearing or something like that, it was like a mandate to have boobs in it.
Well, it was the 80s and early 90s. Horror and action had boobs in it, whether they were necessary or not.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the audience expected it. And it's very weird to have. Because when I was watching that scene, I was like, okay, blah, 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 tasteful bath scene. And then in TV nowadays, they will actually have more sex than movies in the 80s.
Yeah.
And I really kind of I don't know, I was very
Took it
surprised.
back.
Yeah, I mean
ABC Family.
the funny thing is that I
30s
don't
fucking-
think if they didn't have boobs,
Where do you
in
think
this
families
movie,
come from?
I don't think it'd be rated R.
I think you're right.
And the thing-
I think with the
Yeah.
And that the
There's not
thing
much else
is
there for
that
R.
like for a horror movie to not be rated R, I mean, there's in America it's like a big push to make horror movies PG-13 to get more kids in the door.
Right.
But
But they're not
They
taken
often get, like-
seriously
yeah.
unless they get at least an R rating. Same with
Yeah,
like
exactly.
quote action movies, like
Oh yeah, Expendables
Yeah,
got a PG-13.
yep.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, I
they
kind of want my movies rated R
Yeah,
for
me
the most
too.
part. Like, I like R-rated movies. I'm a grown
I
up.
like having the
So-
range of violence.
So
and,
James, you're saying
profanity.
they showed boob just to get the R?
I think they did.
Yeah.
I'd show boob just to get the R. No
yeah,
one
and you
wants-
thought I was going nowhere with this.
Keep those kids out of the
Yeah,
awakening.
I
we don't
thought
want
you were
them.
like, so after this movie, I was just thinking about the boobs.
So right,
I know.
yeah.
I was like, oh, James.
So I
jump
watched
scare-
The Awakening.
yeah.
There were tits in it.
You know that
That's what I
hit or
remember.
miss thing that you do?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, right after that was the jump scare where she was looking through the peephole,
Ugh.
and
And that was,
that really
was
got
awesome.
me too, but not for
Which
the
is
same
ironic
reason.
that
Yeah.
the naked girl was looking at through the peephole to to another room, and nobody's watching the naked girl. Who does that?
She thought that the dude was on the other
Yeah.
side of the wall.
She was the only
there's
one
a
using the
pervy
creep
little
hole.
ghost.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Pervy
and it's
little
even
ghost.
weirder that there's a creep hole.
Yeah.
Because, like,
It's
what?
a boys' school.
Right.
Yeah.
And, like, the only female on that entire thing was, like...
Let's not examine that.
Ooh-wee. Yeah. That jump scare really got me, but not for the same reason. It's because I had my
Pizza.
hand and I
I was
came
gonna say, I pinched
Snort.
my
at the
wiener.
time that he showed up on the screen, and it
Oh, God.
strained my
Pepperoni.
interest. So I was really kind of put off for about
Oh,
like,
Lord.
Why are
about,
you doing
a
this?
minute
You know
or two
this is
for my
this is
refractory period.
You know this is just getting dropped.
I hope it stays. I hope it stays.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
so James, do you have an actual review for us, or are you just going to make more masturbation?
More play-by-play
Um,
wiener holding, please.
I think a lot of the stuff I was going to say has been said. Very classy. I think I can.
Very classy.
Very classy movie. Very well produced. Good. It was
Coming off
good.
the boob talk, then like transitioning right into very classy.
Super classy.
Oh, even the boob scene was a classy boob scene.
It
was a classy
It
boob
was.
scene.
It was a classy boob scene.
I can't wait
Um,
till our mom listens to this episode.
Oh God.
Does she listen to this?
No, I don't think so. I highly doubt it. I don't know. When I
I'm
was,
pretty
I was-
sure if she did, she'd probably call you a lot more. 'Cause she'd have a lot more questions for you.
I have to say that that's absolutely true.
James, why were you eating pizza during the
Okay,
And it
yeah,
was-
actually, yeah.
And it was so hot. It's all over the place.
Yep.
Wow.
So anyway, yeah, I was thinking about comparing this to like English ghost movies to American ghost movies. I think I can name like all the good American ghost movies because there aren't that many, honestly, and I think England has a better handle on ghost movies than America does, but
Yeah.
still, Japan beats us both.
Yeah,
Oh, Japanese
my
ghosts.
God.
and
Oh
horror
my God,
movies in
shut
general,
up.
That shit's freaky.
Yep.
Just
So-
Japanese ghosts. Enough.
Yeah,
Ugh.
honestly, the things I was going to say is that Colin, when you were talking about the effects in this movie, I was shaking my head. I disagree with you, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like there was a lot of YouTube scares in this, and
Really?
like when you watch like those YouTube like scary movies that are literally just YouTube jump scares with like bad After Effects. Honestly, like some of the effects on the kid's face were just like, here's the design was good, but the implementation was kind of bad. So, like,
Interesting.
when the kid comes in from off the screen and stuff like that, it's obviously just like a morphed, pixelated face, and I was just like, meh. It really didn't, like, a lot of the jump scares in this movie didn't actually get me. And, but I really liked the mood of it. When it came to, this movie didn't scare me as much as I would have liked because obviously we're all looking for that big thing that reminds us of like our most terrifying, scary movie. For me, that would be Jacob's Ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched that when I was 12 and I was scared for a week.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely terrified me. And watching it as a grown-up, it's still scary, but it is still damn good. But anyway, I guess the only other... the couple other things. When Maud poisons her, I did not see that coming. And
Yeah, me too.
Really fucking... because you had the initial twist was confusing for me. Because he's like, oh, it's just the three of us.
Obviously, it was confusing for me, too.
Yeah. McNulty. I don't know if he's actually English.
Yes, he is actually English. Yes.
I was going to say, he's amazing.
Yeah, McNulty's actually English.
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Because I thought that he was American, and I was like, no, he's got to be actually English because that accent is too subtle. Like, it's fucking on point.
Yep.
Anyway.
British guys play Americans a lot better than Americans play British guys.
Oh, shit.
What do you mean, Governor? I think I do all right. I do.
I'm just a chimney sweep.
When are you gonna marry me, Mrs. Poppins?
Yeah, it's seriously, it's like the audition process must be like, can you pretend like you're from bloody old England? And they go, all right, yeah, blimey. And they go, oh, man, Oscar.
I think if
Oscar
I had
worthy.
to do an English accent in a movie, it would be Ringo. I'll try to do Ringo, but...
No, see, I would try to do Paul.
My favorite Beatles joke is Ringo the best drummer in the world. No, Ringo's not even the best drummer in the Beatles.
He wasn't.
Nope.
But anyway.
So, when he was like, oh, it's just the three of us. Okay, you count her, you count him, you count the gardener, that's three.
Yeah.
So is Maud a ghost?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I thought. I was like, so Maud's a ghost too?
I
And
wondered
I was
that
like,
too.
well, no, McNulty was talking to Maud, so... And then I'm like, so who's the fucking ghost? Are three of them ghosts?
That tripped me up for a second, too.
To be fair, at that point, the gardener was already dead, so there were only.
He didn't know that. He could have just been unconscious, but
That's
anyway.
true.
No,
Yeah.
he said he buried him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no.
When he said
when he
there's
was
only
running
three of
out,
us,
he
he
was
was
running
running
out
out to
to
bury
the
him.
gardener.
Oh,
At that point when he
that
said,
point.
yep.
No, that tripped me up for a second, too. I was
McNulty
like, what?
can't count despite being a teacher. But yeah, the poisoning bit was
I just
really
don't think he
fucked
was
up.
counting the gardener.
No, I don't think he was either.
Mhm.
But,
Nobody counts the gardener.
so it took me a little
That's why
while
he
to
was
sort
so
out
mad.
that Maud was actually alive and the boy was the only ghost in the area.
Mhm.
I thought that the boy had, when he was like, "Oh, I have imaginary friends." I thought that there were, like, he was friends with like a multitude of ghosts.
That's what I thought.
Which would have been, yeah.
I was like, oh god, this kid's haunted as fuck.
Was the dad with the shotgun an actual ghost?
No, he was a memory.
I think it was just a memory.
Flashback.
Yeah, got pinged.
Yeah, and I'd
See,
say the
but
proof
what's
in
to
the...
say the boy wasn't just a ping flashback
I
memory?
would say
I
the
don't
proof
know.
in
because
putting
Maud.
Also because when they develop the pictures, you don't see the dad in the pictures. You do
Yeah, you
see
Yeah,
the
you
boy.
see the boy.
Yeah. Whatever.
And then there's Maud. Anyway, when she's talking to him, it's like, oh, do you see your friends and stuff? I was actually expecting something incredibly bone chilling there, but it's like something like, well, they look like my friends, but no human would ever say the things they say to me.
Oh yeah, I thought they were going to...
That was a great line.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, he didn't say that. He said something like they look like my friends, but
Well, no, I mean, they look like my friends was a great line.
yeah.
Because of the delivery. It was just stellar.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought so too, but I thought they were going to go deeper with that, because there's one scene
Yeah, me too.
where he goes into his room and he's talking to somebody, and I assumed after that scene that he also saw like legit ghosts of his friends and they were around,
Mhm.
and he interacted with them sort of like she interacted with Tom.
Well, let's hope not, because then if that's the case, then she may actually still be dead.
Well, no, because she takes a car.
Does
Yeah.
she? Does she actually get into it? It doesn't show that.
No, it doesn't.
She
She's
orders a
smoking
my
a
car.
God.
cigarette.
She
No,
shares a cigarette
you're
with the guy.
right.
Yeah.
You're right,
She
because
shares
then
the
he's
cigarette
the
with the
only
guy.
one that survived, and he sees her like she saw Tom, and that's why
Exactly.
Tom and Maud aren't there in the end, because they never haunted him, but his friends from the fucking army and his new girlfriend, they would haunt him. That would be
stupid.
That'd be crazy if that's what they did. I don't think that's what they were going.
Even dumber than this movie already was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they
So,
could have.
Yeah, I guess
They left it open for that.
Yeah. I guess my final point is, like any English movie, this movie would be much better with Matt Berry in it, the boss from IT Crowd.
Fuck you, whiskey!
So I heard you've come to hunt a ghost.
Have
you ever slept with a ghost?
I am the greatest man who's ever lived. Wait, are you talking season
I
one
met
or the
an
later
old
one?
matron at this house, and we became lovers. Have you ever had your taint licked by a ghost?
You're really good at that. That's scary how good he is. Yeah, he means the later seasons.
Oh, the later seasons.
Yeah, because
Yes.
Matt Berry, with the son, because Matt Berry
It's
is
very
hilarious.
wispy. I was
Okay.
attacked by a bear ghost. Luckily, I hit him with my flintlock that I hid cleverly in my mustache.
Okay. So,
John, what did you think of this movie?
Yeah, finish this out.
You know, I think this is another one of those movies where
Comedy
I'm kind of
horror
on the
done
fence.
right.
Yep, comedy horror.
Yeah, just
not
wait
gonna
for
live
the
that down.
sequel, Reawakening.
Yeah, I'm definitely with Chris in the fact that I'm not really sure it deserves its 4-star ratings, but I don't think at the same time that I watched this right, because like Eric,
Okay, never mind. Sorry,
well,
go ahead.
no, I mean
Apparently,
like
I
Eric.
didn't watch it right.
Well,
Did you watch it
that's
on
such
the
an odd
radio?
phrase. How do you watch it wrong? Yeah, exactly. Like, I was at too much of an angle.
So I
You
did.
do it like I do with your
My
mic in your
TV was
hand.
facing downward.
My TV was facing the
Look,
wall.
In all honesty, I was holding my hands in front of the TV and all.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, I mean, for me, I grabbed onto the wrong red herring, and I got stuck with it. And so when the twist actually happened, it took me completely by surprise, and I was like, "Where the fuck did that come from?" Because what I grabbed onto right at the beginning is the face that Catherine pulls after she gets slapped, and that lady accuses her of never having had any children.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that this whole time I was getting yellow wallpapered. That this movie was in fact like supposed to be like a postpartum depression.
Yellow wallpaper.
It's a short story. It's a very famous ghost short story about a
it's
woman.
really famous, but none of us have heard of it,
You guys,
so.
seriously, none of you have heard of the yellow
Read a
wallpaper.
plot.
You're making us
No, I
look
haven't.
like jerks.
Oh my god.
But let me continue to use it as a reference to explain my entire theory.
Okay. Short story about postpartum that actually is right. It's like a big feminist thing because it basically represents postpartum depression. Okay. But it comes across as this really creepy, fucked up ghost story.
So
Okay.
what you're saying, you think that she actually at one point did have kids? Or that's what you had focused
what he
on. You
thought.
thought
Dead
Yeah, that's
kid.
what I thought.
Okay.
So I thought this was going to be a dead kid thing.
Okay.
And so like the whole
Well,
time.
technically it was. It just wasn't her.
Exactly. And so that's like I would those weren't the clues I was looking for. So the whole time I was on this whole other track that like that basically the ghost was was stupid. So anyway, so since my mind had been stuck on this wrong treadmill the entire time, when the actual twist came up, I think I was in a unique position to realize just how weak of a twist it actually was. Because I think if you had been on the right track the whole time, you might have saw the twist as like kind of cool. But
Yeah. So when the boy reveals himself to be the ghost, honestly, what I was thinking was that the boy my first initial thought was that the boy was the ghost of her dead boyfriend. But he just identified so much with the
halfway thought
school.
that too.
He just happened to be
Yeah.
a little kid in his ghost form.
Right. Because until they actually start, because he does this whole thing where he obviously knows her.
Yeah.
And until they explain her the history, that's what I was wondering too. I'm like, and you're gonna be with us, blah blah blah. I'm like, This is really creepy pedo shit now.
Yeah.
I never realized how many red herrings there were in this movie.
Is
Oh, there
it
are a lot.
pedo if like it's a ghost?
Yes.
I think that's necro.
My ghost was a
Necropedo.
grown woman.
Anyway. Yeah, so I mean, there were a lot of red herrings. There were a lot of stuff going on, and obviously there was a twist to it, and a big reveal. Whether or not you necessarily, I personally think that the movie was a little bit weaker for it.
The reveal about the family?
Yeah, I personally don't think.
Although that scene was great.
That
Yeah,
scene was absolutely fantastic.
I'm actually with John here completely. Yeah, the scene and all that was amazing. That whole reveal, I think that was just a little bit too goddamn much.
I agree with you guys as well. I think if it had just been a ghost that had no connection to her whatsoever, I actually think it would have been a stronger movie. Though I also agree that scene was very well done. But it was kind of weak. Actually, that scene could have been the ghost's story. It didn't even need the protagonist.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it could have been like either
Kid
it
was
could have
shot.
done that, or it's
Kid
like,
and his mother were shot by their crazy father.
maybe the ghost has crazy ghost powers and made her see the past.
Mm-hmm.
If that
Worked in
had
Harry
been
Potter.
the case, I wouldn't have thought that this was all just her imagination the whole time.
Right.
as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's a great scene. There's some, there's obviously, like I said, we all pretty much are in agreement that the twist is a little weak.
Mm-hmm.
So what I guess ultimately it kind of comes down to is that, I mean, for me, I love the mood setting. I thought there were a lot of creepy moments in this. I disagree with Chris. I think it's just as strong. I think for the creepiness, not the jump scares, but the actual creepiness, I think the dollhouse scene is probably going to go down in my mind just as it's going to hold a place right next to the red light, green light, which in my mind is really honestly the only truly scary part of Orphanage.
I agree.
I'm telling you, if that door had closed, it would have been up there, but it didn't.
Exactly. You guys left it open a crack, and therefore didn't get Chris's vote.
I'm good. I can escape.
Yeah. But so what it really comes down to is to whether or not you think this movie deserves its 4-star rating. I think comes down to whether or not you think a movie that relies on a twist, is the movie good if the twist is weak, or can the movie sustain itself on its own? In my view, I don't think that this movie is all that good when because of the twist, because the twist is being so weak. Had it been a stronger twist, I totally would have, been like, this is a great movie, you need to see it. As of right now, I really honestly could give or take it. I don't think I'm going to recommend it. I think this would be a great... I think if you could just watch that dollhouse scene on YouTube, I think that would be...
I want a TV series of her, like, the first 10
Yeah,
minutes.
that
Oh,
would
no.
be
If
awesome.
we had that TV series... Like, if the movie had taken a dramatic turn and we had just gotten the first 10 minutes of the movies, but then more and just, bigger... I would have been totally fine with that. That would have been a great movie.
What I wanted.
But that's not a horror movie, Eric, and that's not a ghost story.
I don't care. It would have been a better
But
movie.
it's Spooktober.
It's Fucktober.
That's not a thing.
Pizza Tober, what's
That's
that?
That's Fucktember.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we are ready for a game. Ready for the game? I think.
Let's play a game. The game.
The game.
Yeah, let's get to this game.
I had a really hard time coming up with the game this time around. First things first is Chris is playing for John DeFort again.
Yeah.
Johnny D.
Yep.
He really wants us to watch
Children of the Corn.
Children of the Corn.
Children of the Corns.
Corn Boys.
And he was the only one this week. A little sad. Made me a little sad, but
didn't Millie?
Doug, once bitten, twice shy.
When everyone knows that they're going to put their vote up, and it's not going to matter because John gets his way.
Yeah.
I thought Millie preemptively asked for James. Oh, okay.
No, James. Well, I guess it doesn't matter because James is still going to say Hellraiser. So.
Yeah, I'll probably still go.
Okay. Well, anyway. All right. So this podcast game, like I said, I had a little bit of difficulty coming up with this one, but I think I actually got a fairly decent one.
It sounds like you're still having difficulty coming up with it.
Still kind of am.
Oh no!
So we've discussed before, ghost stories usually are representative of some kind of like fear of the time. Like, you have a situation where, this movie was very, very heavily relying on kind of like the uncertainty of, post World War I era. And, in a way, this ghost actually kind of represented the scariness that is loneliness as opposed to, loneliness and isolation. And then, even the goofier ghosts like Beetlejuice, they tend to represent something like chaos and the ability to, the lack of control. But I guess the point that I'm trying to make is that we have ghosts that basically represent bigger fears, but they're compacted but no less scary. So I want you guys this week to come up with a big fear and your ghost. Tell me about your ghost that represents that fear.
Does it have to be an actual personal fear?
No.
Or is it just a large
It could be a
scale...
societal fear, like something like now, like great.
So like my ghost doesn't have to represent deep water.
But I mean, like you're.
It's the only thing in this world I'm afraid of is deep water.
But I mean, like right now, obviously, I mean, if you wanted to get really deep, you could be like, "Oh, I got the Ebola ghost who's like this, he's all Ebola-y," and because that's obviously
It's still Colin's ghost.
Oh, no, I got nothing. Tires.
Yeah, Colin, tire golem might do it.
A ghost that represents a bigger fear in society.
I'm going to need like 30 minutes to think about this, so Colin, you might as well just hang up.
Oh!
I wasn't going to win anyway.
No. You gotta try, Colin.
Okay.
Yeah, and creative can win the day in this one, I'm thinking, because obviously, pulling for funny is always fun, but in this particular respect, you come up with a really cool ghost, and I'm all about it.
I got one. If you're ready for me to start you off,
I'm ready. If everyone else is ready,
You're a rocket.
okay.
I have absolutely no fucking clue, but I don't think it matters.
Okay.
Right.
Because I'm not going to come up with anything good anyway.
All right. My ghost. This ghost represents the fear of beauty fading with age.
Good.
She haunts a theater, and she's the ghost of an actress who slit her wrists with shards of her makeup mirror after her understudy filled in for the second act of her play and got bigger accolades than she did, her understudy being a younger, prettier woman. And in addition to still bearing the scars all up and down her wrists, she also has weeping sores all around her eyes.
And, wow.
Yeah,
that would be genuinely
yeah.
scary.
Does she appear in mirrors?
No, she does not.
No, she just talks during movies.
She doesn't appear in mirrors.
You know the
She
boy's a
sits
ghost,
right next
right?
to you during movies, and anytime there's a female on screen, she just goes, "I could have played that better." That's my scary ghost.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one.
That's actually very that's a very good one.
I'd see that movie.
Yeah, I wish she had a mirror thing though, because man, Bloody Mary freaks me the fuck out.
Well, she did kill herself on mirror shards, so I thought, okay, I wasn't sure if I was going to go with wrists slit on mirror shards or hung herself from the rafters, so she is a tilty-headed ghost, which is also scary as hell.
Oh yeah, tilty-headed ghosts.
Tilty-headed ghosts are awful.
Creepy.
Yeah.
Who's next?
James is pointing at me, so I'm going to. My ghost is, so for the sake of this, if it was going to be a film or something like that, right? While it would probably not technically be a horror film because it would be as close to a normal kind of slice of life film as possible, but would have these jarring, not like sudden, but I mean like these very, very contrasting points at where you as the audience, as well as the characters themselves, would be in a continual sense of, was that real or not?
Okay.
It's my ghost is really that ghost in the corner of your eye.
Ooh.
That thing that you're never sure if it was a ghost, if it was a shadow, maybe it was my imagination.
But what does it actually do? Does it actually do things?
It's one of those kind of unnerving things.
Okay.
Kind of where you wake up and, you can't really explain.
Like it feels like there was just somebody in the room.
Right. It's more a continual threat of continual imminent threat versus a sudden spook.
So, does your movie get ruined with a big reveal?
It just is a guy in the corner. He's just a real dude.
Hey, what's up?
Hey guy, what's up?
I hadn't thought it through that because James was pointing at me. But I was gonna.
Are you sure he was pointing at you?
Oh.
Okay. What I was gonna say though, so essentially, what it is, it's a constant idea that. All right, fine. Turns out the guy's insane.
So what you're
he's dead.
So you're selling a slow burn like the original Amityville Horror. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
Amityville, so scary.
Because frankly, I think that's more scary. Something that it doesn't throw it in your face. It keeps nudging at you to the point where you start having to actually, you as the audience have to start thinking it through.
Right.
Thinking it through. And I mean, honestly, that's the creepiest stuff for me. The stuff that doesn't throw it in your face. The stuff that you walk away what the fuck? Yeah. Not well, that was fucking crazy.
Where'd the money go?
But, seriously, what the fuck?
That was a terrifying part in Amityville when the ghosts stole their money.
Oh. I live
ghosts
with that fear every day.
No, I mean, it was actually horrifying. I was like, oh my god, what happened to the money? I was poor then.
Okay, I've got one. All right, so it's so people are afraid a lot of times of that the place that they live used to be used for something else. Like either the building was something else or the land was something else. Like
old people had sex.
The boombox is not a toy.
So Indian burial grounds and that kind of shit. Well, this ghost haunts an old warehouse type building that was repurposed into loft space and apartments in the downtown of a big city, and the ghost causes the inhabitants to it's not it's not a thing that the inhabitants see. It's more of a spirit that it infects their mind. And it causes them to kill themselves. It causes them to slit their own throats. And it turns out that the building was originally built to be a slaughterhouse, and they would just line cattle up and slit their throats. Yes, it's the ghost of a cow that causes all the inhabitants to kill themselves, to slit their own throats.
That's actually pretty cool. Except for the cow part.
Well, I was thinking what it should have been
Hey, that's what it is.
It was a factory that was reconditioned into apartments or something, and it was a worker that was actually murdered by the ghost of the Indian spirits of the Indian burial ground it was actually built on originally, and he was threatening the new people after he got ghosted killed all the ghosts.
Yeah, Chris, you should write
bullshit convoluted Chris joke.
I call my movie Ghostception.
It takes way longer to explain the joke.
Wow, in a world with ghosts. Wow, who also have ghosts. Wow.
All right, James, what do you got?
All right, so my ghost is representative of the fear of a irrational male-dominated society.
Oh boy.
And
ladies.
the guy who becomes the ghost is going to be like owner of a CEO of a very popular company,
man.
but he just can't seem to win. He can't get the girl that he wants. He's not happy with his wife, so he figures he's gonna he's massively depressive, so he's gonna kill himself in the most spectacular way by diving headfirst in a wood chipper. But even that just gets covered up because there's some bigger news of the day. So he's just completely, he feels completely incapable, and he comes back as a cock and a schmenkel raider.
Schmenkel-rater. Schmenkel-rater. I forgot what we said Schmenkel-rater is.
It's not like a limp one either. It's like a fully hard, super hard, long one. Like Eric after Jenny A has said fuck twice. Or everybody else when they
I forgot what a Schmenkel-rater is.
It's a toaster. It's a dick and a toaster.
It's a toaster.
That's your ghost?
It's a toaster.
Your toaster dick.
The toaster wiener.
My ghost is my ghost is a cock and a toaster.
Wait!
And it's a hard cock. It's a hard
That's
cock
one
too.
hard hot cock.
Yeah. So it's like everybody else when they talk about Eric's sister, or like me when I talk about Colin's mom. It's hard like calculus, you know? It's like hard like calculus too. And that's my ghost.
Harder and Chinese.
Oh my God, James.
Okay, well, James didn't win.
Thanks for listening to the podcast, everyone.
I went to the wall for you guys.
Oh my God.
So the sweat dropped off your balls?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe pull it back from the wall a little bit, James. Maybe just kind of stand in the doorway next time.
Yeah.
I gotta stay in the corner of somebody's eye.
I mean, A plus for keeping some running gags going. I didn't think Schmenkel-rater was going to come back.
James is the king of having something when
Oh
he
my
has
God. I'm crying over here.
Why does it have to be my dick?
Oh, goodness.
What was this about Eric's
I
sister?
don't want to put my dick in a toaster.
That was just a reference point. As
This is
in
big.
rock hard.
So apparently,
Big.
huge.
All right.
Good job, Eric.
What?
Ladies.
Bro.
No, that's for Chris.
Oh, man.
Chris has the bros. I have nothing to say about that.
Yeah.
What? Oh, my God.
Colin, I heard you say it once, but don't do it again. You're not asking any questions about my sister. It's not happening.
I got a sister. She lives in Lansing. She's pretty good looking. She's fun.
All right.
Just saying.
I'll take
Do you
it.
want to trade?
Is your sister married?
No. Nope.
Okay, my sister is
Oh,
married.
well,
so.
then I don't want her.
So,
And not to
I was
me.
going to say, so it'd be a challenge.
Okay,
Oh my God.
so,
I just realized it's not as smart making the jokes with the person
Oops.
in the room.
No, it's not.
Yeah. So,
I think I gotta go with Colin on this one.
What?
what
his was solid.
What was yours again?
It was the lady in the mirror
it's
at
the
the
actress ghost. And it's Paranorman.
No, that was a good one.
We're watching
Yeah, I
Paranorman.
liked. We're watching
Good.
Paranorman.
Yes.
That would
and,
probably be my second choice. Either that or your
Oh,
next.
We're
Okay.
going to watch Paranorman.
I thought you were saying
And part of the
yeah,
reason
okay.
that I'm choosing Paranorman, I know that at least a couple of us have seen it. First of all, I already have a high opinion of this movie. But the reason I chose it is because I think more people need to watch Paranorman, and I would like to actually generate some interest in this movie. Because I hope that those of you who have not seen it enjoy it as much as I did, because I would hate to try to generate interest in this movie and then have people pan it. But
like Leprechaun.
so it's a little bit more of a fun one. Certainly not scary, but I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did.
Nice.
And, yep.
Leprechaun almost made John quit his
It was pretty bad. And I oversold that one by muchos.
Well, but you felt like way bad about it. Like the worst that anybody should feel
saying
about
you
it.
oversold Leprechaun is like saying you oversold a box of shit by saying it's a car. It's a car. It'll get you there, buddy. Come on. This is a box of feces. No, it's a vehicle.
Look, it drives around and everything.
Yeah, look at that. Great mileage.
Right. Makes all sorts of noise.
Okay,
you
folks.
get 2 or 3 of them together, you got a combo.
So,
all right, next week,
Paranorman.
Next week is Paranorman. Yep.
You can listen to our podcast on iTunes, the Stitcher app, or directly on our website. Feel free to send us a movie review suggestion. You'll have an equal chance of getting chosen for next week's movie review. You can reach us through social media, either by liking our Facebook page, John Hates Movies, or following our Twitter at John Hates Movies. Our music was composed by Kevin MacLeod. You can find this track and many more on his website, Incompetech.com. Thanks for listening, and tune in next week to hear someone say...
You're really doubling down on this, aren't you? You're just going hard on the stroke jokes.